Welcome to Besties and Bubbles.
Welcome.
Cheers, Kimberly.
Cheers.
Does anybody else call you Kimberly?
I think only when I'm in trouble or being yelled at.
Really, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You couldn't do that with my name. It was like, Tracy!
What about your middle name?
Tracy Lynn!
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm Kimberly Lynn. So
Kimberly is like enough to get your attention.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
Well, Kim and I were actually apart all last week.
I know.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
So Kim and I were apart all last week. She was on vacation with her family, which was so nice. And we got back together this week and started talking about all the different things. And I was so moved by something that happened to my friend this week. And I said, this is a podcast. And hopefully you guys will find this as a challenge to take on yourself. And I think there's really great rewards. So what did you get in the mail this week, Kim?
I received a letter from someone that I care and love about deeply. And I'm not going to share who it's from.
Sure.
However, but it was actually very awe-inspiring for me. And I think that in having this discussion, it may be awe-inspiring for our friends and our listeners as well as we talk through it. And really what it boils down to, kind of, not that I coined this phrase, but as I'm thinking about it, it boiled down to seize the day, carpe diem, right? Like you really need to just, when you feel something, say something, right? And
that's usually like in a bad, that's if you see something.
Say something.
Say something.
But I'm saying if you feel something,
say something.
Say something.
Yeah.
Communicate it to that person, right? Because the impact, and we all make an impact on someone, whether we know it or not.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. And in this case, I'm citing good,
Absolutely.
right? And I think that it was so profound that I was just like, wow, like I knew I had an impact on this person, but I didn't really realize the impact that I had on this person. And it wasn't from anything like one thing in particular that I did or said or what have you. I've known this person for a long time.
It was you being you.
Yes.
And they took time to put it down in written form and let you know how much they appreciated you.
Yeah.
Just you being you. It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't like just one thing. You helped them out with this one thing.
Right.
And they said, oh, thanks.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No, not at all.
No.
It was about a lifetime of your relationship. And they're saying, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. And I think, and it meant so much to me. And I feel, obviously, for this person to put it in writing, it meant a lot to them as well. And I thought about, gosh, I know there's people out there that I haven't spoken to or communicated with in a long time that have had an impact on my life, right? And it could be a teacher, it could be a coworker, it could be a family member, it doesn't, a friend, what have you. And I feel that at times life gets very busy for us, and distance gets in the way, right? If we don't see this person often,
right.
Or maybe if we do see this person, maybe we just don't, we don't take the time to have that meaningful conversation with them. It's surface level, it's niceties, and that's fine as well. But I think that at the end of the day, life is short, as we all know, and okay, listen, I'm gonna be real. As Gen Xers, we feel that, right? I mean, we're on the back nine. Like, let's be clear.
That's a shout out to Rue.
We're on the back nine.
We're on the back nine,
and that's okay, because you know what? I feel the back nine is going to be the best nine.
I'm so glad I'm on the back nine.
So let's do a little cheers.
That is for cheers. Let me ask you some questions. Yeah. How did it make you feel? What emotions, if you had to put down, how did it make you feel when you read that letter?
It was my heart that swelled. my heart swelled. Like, why wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's saying all these nice things about
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and
Someone you respect,
I
right? Yeah. And not a
absolutely.
stranger, someone that knows you're good and bad, and all that
Yes.
stuff. And for them to just take
Yes.
the time and say, hey,
Yeah.
I really think you're great in these areas and stuff. Yeah. So it's such a good gift to be able to give somebody
It
else
is a
those
gift.
same
It's a
feelings.
gift.
Yes.
So I guess that's also a part of it. It's a gift. And what better way to give a gift than to tell someone, number one, how you feel about them, and
Hmm.
number two, how they've had an impact on your life.
And I'm going to say maybe something controversial. I think it's better written than it is a phone call. And this is the reason why.
Okay.
I think when you write something, whether it's typed, handwritten, text,
Sure.
email, you take the
It's
time.
scribed.
Scribed.
How about that? Scribed.
So I think it shows, and I think that you take the time to read it. Maybe you go back and change this word, or you insert this here, and you know what I mean? You adjust it till it's just right, and you really have time to think about it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're on the phone with someone, sometimes you forget those things that maybe that's that one other point I wanted to make or whatever. And also, if there's any hesitation, it gives them a reason to start talking.
Sure.
And someone like me, you give a pause and I'm going to start talking. You know what I mean? And maybe, exactly. And so maybe not everything will be said.
Right.
So I think that if we're going to challenge you to send a note, I think that it should be in writing.
Yes. And it probably should be dated as well.
We like dated. We
I
think
love
that's a
dates.
Gen X thing
I
too.
know. I feel like that's how we were taught when we
Sent
remember
a
in English
card.
class when we were writing letters and
Yeah.
English whatever 101 or whatever it
Yeah.
was, right?
Yeah.
Salutations. You
Yeah.
always, put a date on
Put
there.
a date.
And it because it's for a reference in time,
Sure.
right?
But you've given a gift of a book to a child, right? And you always put the date.
I do.
Who it's
When
to.
I
A
do
note.
a card, even a card,
Really, you date cards?
I do.
I don't date cards.
I do.
Actually, I don't send a lot of cards, but definitely the trend with this whole like baby, give it instead of a card, give a book.
Yes.
My daughter did that, and she reads books to her son, and she's like, I'm going to send a note to Aunt Sherry because these are so great, and what she wrote to Nicole and this future child, was so great, da da da. So I think those things mean a lot. It definitely, when you write something, type, text, email, when you take time to do that, it shows you're just, there's a lot of effort involved in it.
There's a lot of effort. It's heartfelt.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that it makes you as the person that is scribing or writing a letter. I know scribing. I don't. That's probably really old, but scribing.
Like with a pen, like you're dipping it in the ink.
Yeah,
scribing,
like a quail,
like
right.
Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. But I feel it has just as much meaning to that person as the person that receives it as well.
True.
Right.
Yes.
So think about how many times, and I know you're really good at this. Maybe you see someone, a stranger, right, walking down the street, or and this could be, in our case, I'm going to say a female, right, that you're like, oh, she looks great, she looks really put together, like, man, I should really give her a compliment. And maybe you don't, because you like don't want to make her feel awkward or weird or something like that, but really at the same time you're like, I notice you and you look great, and
right,
I just want to tell that to you,
right.
And she passes by and you're like, I didn't say anything to her, right? Or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you're very good at that, but I think it's more of being meaningful, right?
Yeah.
In our day-to-day lives.
Yes.
Right?
And doing little things to build people up. Now, this is a big thing, right? Sitting down, writing a letter, an email, or something like that. But what you're talking about are like those, little things that you can just slightly do, to make someone feel good. And on social media, that happens all the time, right? Like, you have an opportunity all the time when somebody posts something. You have an opportunity underneath there to
You
that a girl,
absolutely do.
congratulations, even if it's a happy birthday. Maybe not everyone is telling them happy birthday, but the fact that you did, I don't know, maybe it's even a like, but I think we have that opportunity lots of times.
Yeah. I also think that when you feel something, you should say something. Right. And
Yeah,
I know, we've kind of like, if you see something, you should say something. But I also think if you feel something, you should say something to
I agree.
someone.
I
Right.
agree.
Like, I life is too short. Maybe I said that already. I don't know if I did or not. And there's the old adage of, we only get together for weddings and funerals, and it really shouldn't be that way, even though it is a lot of times.
Right.
But if we just take the time to seize the moment or seize the feeling,
Right.
um, it really can make a difference.
So one time, so 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and your story prompted me to remember this story, and I went back, and somebody had messaged me on Facebook 5 years ago, and they said it was a high school friend. So we were out of school for 30
Yeah,
years, 32
quite a
years
while. Let's
at
just
this
say that.
point. 30, no, 42 years
What?
at that. Yeah. Oh no, that couldn't have
No,
been
that's not true.
30 years, 32 years out of high
Okay.
school. Yeah. 32 years out of high school when this
I
happened.
mean, we're old, but we're not that old
I
yet.
might have to put the real answer right here. Okay.
Okay. Well,
So,
yes.
well,
We'll
anyway,
verify.
so 5 years ago, somebody messaged me, and it's someone that I'd had basically, I would say, an online relationship with, a female from high school, but we hadn't hung out very much at all. I think I only hung out with her maybe one time since high school
Okay.
graduation,
Right.
long time ago, right? And she said that she wanted to let me know that I was somebody that was very impactful in her life. And she was reaching out to other women and letting them know this and this and that. And then she said that she's sorry that she didn't always appreciate my whatever it was, the things that she had come and
Or the
she,
things that you've probably said, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
how you made her feel.
yeah.
Which obviously you made her feel very good.
Yes. And it was a sweet thing. I took it very well, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." But you know what I didn't do?
Hmm.
And I explained to her how great that was. But I didn't go and pass that on. The Tracy 5 years ago was like, "Oh, that's sweet. I accept that."
Oh, meaning that you
I
didn't take
didn't
the
even
time
think
to pass it on to
to someone
someone
else.
else. Yeah.
And like now the Tracy is like, "Wow, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should do that to someone else."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
and honestly, I think our friends out there, I think we all have a person, maybe more, right? That we probably want to,
Yeah.
or I'm going to say should. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but
You should.
you probably should.
You know why you should? Even if you're selfish, you should, because it's going to make you feel good.
Yeah,
It's going to make you feel good to do it.
I think so as well.
And if you don't have their address, you send a message on Facebook.
You can also Google it too. So
yeah,
you can get a lot of addresses on the Googles.
It's on. Is that a thing on the Googles, like the socials?
I think it's the socials, it's the Googles, definitely not the Nordstroms, as I was told. It's okay.
Aren't you glad I told you?
I
tried to be
Thank
delicate
you.
about
it's
it.
Okay, and you were, and I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
You don't say Illinois.
No.
And you don't say Jules.
No.
The Jules.
I know. I don't know why, but we digress.
Anyway, that was on an earlier podcast, but yeah, I thought this was a really, really cool thing. When Kimmy was telling me this, I was like getting chills. I'm like, that is so awesome that somebody took the time to, in this case, type out a letter and send it to you, and tell you what a meaningful person you are in their life. And I think that's great. Kudos to that person, first of all, for being brave, taking the time, right?
Yeah, and it is brave.
Yes,
it is brave.
I think it is brave.
because you're kind of being vulnerable,
Right.
and you're
Yeah.
saying, you're kind of letting it out there, and
Yeah.
you know,
Because it's okay to say to someone like, I wish we would have stayed in contact more
right.
often or something. That's saying that
Yeah.
I haven't done something right, but I'm sorry and I just want you to know
Yeah.
this is how I feel.
Or I do appreciate when we are together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you put a lot of effort into doing things, and I mean, whatever the case
Or
is.
you motivated me this way.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
because of
even,
this, maybe it was just one thing that
yeah.
somebody did for you that changed your path. That's someone they weren't doing it to change your path. Let them know.
Yeah.
I think that's great. We can make so many
Mhm.
people feel good just by putting a little effort and letting them know.
And I think that this has happened. I mean, it's happened to all of us, right? But it may also be because I've heard of stories, right, where even from a work environment, right, maybe you're sitting in some type of presentation or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, someone says something that's impactful,
Yeah.
right, and maybe you take that and you apply that to your life.
Right.
Well, that person then had an impact,
right,
on your life, but maybe that person is not, maybe they're not necessarily reachable, right? Like it'll
sure,
take
sure,
some
sure, sure,
effort to get to that
sure.
person. Maybe you don't know that
Or
person.
maybe it's a paid thing and they're a coaching person, or whatever.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Yeah,
And I
it could
think
be
what
that.
we're talking about right now are people that you do know,
Yes.
right? We're not talking about famous people or what
Right.
have you people.
Right.
Like these are people that you know, people that you potentially love,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't matter what the relationship is,
Right.
right?
Right. Friendship,
Platonic,
romantic,
romantic, it doesn't matter, you know.
child.
It could be, you know what? It actually
How
could
cool to
be.
send you. Should send our kids
I know. Well, I feel like I feel like we do send our kids
We send them.
letters.
Yeah.
I have, well, cards. I do give my kids
Yeah.
cards
I
all the
always write in the
time.
cards. Yeah.
And I do, when something's needed immediately, I send a text message to my
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
kind of going back to what you said, I do agree that words in writing, whether it's written, text, or what have
Email.
you,
Yeah.
are extremely impactful because you can go back
And reread
and
it again
reread
and again.
them
Yeah.
over and over again. So here's a funny thing. We're talking about the cards.
Yes. Kim's a good card giver, gift giver. She's good.
I'm a
She's good at
hoarder
this.
of cards. Do you know that I have an armoire in my bedroom, and the bottom drawer is stuffed with cards?
Then why do you go to the dollar store for cards?
No, of cards that I've received.
That you kept?
Yes.
Oh.
And for my children.
Oh. Wait, from your children that you've kept?
Well, no. Maybe cards that they received, like for birthdays or graduations or first communions.
Oh.
I shove them all. And I need to go through them because I know, people will be like, whatever. But I think,
No,
I
that's
think what I need to do, because actually,
that's something
side
you take.
podcast as well, when Matt and I were dating, we sent, I mean, hey guys, this was back in the 90s, early 90s. We sent cards back and forth to each
Yeah.
other and letters.
Yeah.
So I have all of those in a box.
Yeah.
And someday, my boys, whether they want them or not, we'll get them. Maybe my granddaughter will want to see them. But
Do you know what I saved?
Did
I ever tell you this?
No.
My first husband, Doug, we were friends since we've known each other since we were 9.
Oh wow.
And yeah. So he used to write me love notes.
Oh.
Like as a kid.
That's so cute.
And I still have them. Like I know exactly where they are. Yeah.
Because
it's like,
are
how
they
could you
in
get
a
rid of
number
that?
2 pencil?
Probably they're in pencil. They're in pencil. And not in cursive.
Right.
But I really still have those. Like we've pulled them out. He knows I have them. The kids all know I have
That's
them.
cute.
But it's like, I think it is really cute.
That's super sweet.
And I
That's
do have a
super
few
sweet.
cards. But what you just reminded me of something I posted on Facebook not long ago is my daughter Emily is 22, and my dad, who now lives with us, used to live next door.
Oh, right.
And I posted that I came home. Actually, I was out with you at Avanzari, and I came home, and Emily was sitting here on a Friday night in my dad's room. My dad's laying in bed, and she has a shoebox of letters, all from him.
That's
They
sweet.
were like pen pals as she was
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
And he would write her things, and it went from Lombard to Carroll Stream.
What it could have gone from right
There
there to there.
Yeah. It went all the way to Carroll Stream, and then and a stamp.
Yeah.
And how cute that Emily has saved all those
That's
things.
very sweet.
She's going to have those to share with her kids.
Absolutely. And we have talked about
who
this.
may or may not know my dad. Do
Right.
you know what I mean?
But that's
So-
something that's physical. Like, you know, I kind of along those same lines, when my grandfathers were both in the war, World War II, they wrote letters to my grandmothers. And
Do you
how
have those?
I don't have them in my
Yeah.
possession.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like how amazing is that?
That is so priceless.
Because the written word, and we could go into
Oh,
a
the
really
written
long
word.
conversation about the
That's
written word.
a whole rabbit
But I'm
hole.
talking about the written word present as we're talking today. That's amazing. Like
Mhm.
it's amazing to see that person's handwriting.
Yep.
Or if it's typed, it doesn't matter. It's their thoughts, it's their
Yeah.
words, it's the physicality of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something that's physical to touch. Like that's
Yes.
big.
And you share it. It's easier to share
Yeah.
it with people
Yeah.
than trying to recant a phone conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So
Here's our challenge to our listeners.
yeah.
Think about it. Think about who in your life has made an impact somehow positive, and write them a letter.
Yeah.
Let's get it back.
Let's get it back.
Let's get a little boost to the postal service.
Let's express our feelings, right? If you feel something, say something.
That's Kim's new phrase.
I think it is. I mean,
maybe we should make it the name of the podcast.
I don't know, but I think that all of us out there have someone that we need to say something to.
Yes.
Positively. Talking positively here, right?
Yes. And if you get something in the mail, just like I was told years ago, when you receive a compliment, I told you this. What are you supposed to say?
Well, I know
If
what
I say-
you're gonna say.
Okay.
But I think it's hard for people to accept a compliment. But I was
shouldn't be.
I was always just taught to say thank you.
Yes.
Just thank you.
But if you really want that if you really want to like take it in, you're supposed to say, I accept that.
Yes. And I love that. I love that.
Kim, you look beautiful today. And you say,
I accept that.
I accept that.
I absolutely accept it.
You do. So take that in and take whatever somebody told you, because it's not a conversation back and forth. It's a one-way conversation when you write something, and accept it. And just know that you made a positive impact on someone's life. So I hope we have encouraged you to do that to somebody in your life at least once.
Yes.
If not, maybe the first of the month or something like that, you know?
Or, yeah. I mean, we started this podcast by saying, is it carpe diem? I think
Carpe
it
diem,
is,
yeah.
right? It's Latin.
It's one, I have a tattoo on my right rib cage that says, do you know what it says?
I don't know. Does it say carpe diem?
It's similar to that. It doesn't. It says forever is composed of nows.
Okay.
Yeah, Emily Dickinson. And that is that now.
Yes, it's now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a strong believer in it, but I'm telling you, I didn't pass it along 5 years ago, but I am going to take this experience and say, hey, now we have a little bit of a platform to say, hey, you guys should be doing it too, but I am definitely going to do that. So I appreciate you sharing that with me and all of our listeners.
Yes. And we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And your support and your love. And you know what? Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
Cheers.